guys, and welcome to another special episode of the Mama's Geeky Show. Today we have a very special guest, Scott Peterson, who is showrunner and executive producer for Netflix's Last Kids on Earth, one of our favorite shows to watch as a family. We absolutely love it.
Hey, Tessa from Mama's Geeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel.
For those who don't know, why don't you tell us a little bit about the show?
Oh my gosh. Well, Last Kids on Earth is about a kid named Jack who kind of makes his own family of friends during the apocalypse. So there's a monster and zombie apocalypse that takes over his town. And so he is trying to make the best of it. He's trying to have fun with his friends and not just survive, but to thrive. And he calls it the fun-pocalypse. So they're trying to make the best of things, which is something we can all do these days.
Yes, for sure.
How did you get involved with Last Kids on Earth, and what attracted you to make the series?
Oh, good question. Well, I had been at Disney for about 10 years working on Phineas and Ferb and Milo Murphy's Law.
Those are her other favorite shows.
Oh, good. But
Our other favorite shows?
Sorry.
Okay, excellent. But I've always been a big Halloween fan. I was born on Halloween, and so I've always liked monsters and things and made big decorations on my lawn with Halloween and built haunted houses and stuff. So when the folks at Netflix came to me and said, we have this show about monsters and zombies and kids and tree houses, I was like, sign me up. I'm heading over. And so for me, it was a dream come true. It was just something I was really excited to work on.
Well, happy almost birthday then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead, honey.
There's 19 days for your birthday.
19 days.
20. Yeah, 19.
It's coming.
Which Last Kids on Earth character are you most like?
Oh, usually they ask the author that question. People ask Max, and he says he's like Jack. Nobody's asked me that before. I guess I would like to be like Jack. I would like to be brave like that, but I'm probably a little more like Quint, where I think things through too much, and I try and come up with creative solutions to things, but I think I'm a little closer to Quint.
He's super smart and handy.
He is super smart.
So there
He
you go.
is.
Yes, there he is.
And he builds really cool things.
Yes, he does.
Even a stinky sock launcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even fixed up a car in a post-apocalyptic world with limited supplies.
He did. He's very resourceful.
How long does one episode of Last Kids on Earth take to make?
Oh, another very good question. From the time we write it, like when we finish the script, until it shows up on your TV is about a year.
Wow.
It takes a long time to draw everything and make it move in animation and to record all the voices and to do all the colors. And there's so many parts to it. I'm not sure how many hundred, but more than 200 people were working on Last Kids.
Wow.
When we were really busy on it.
What messages do you want kids to take away from Last Kids on Earth?
I think the most important, that's also a good question, by the way. I think the most important message is about keeping a positive attitude. That even bad things happen to everybody. Good things happen and bad things happen. So when bad things happen, it's not getting too discouraged, not just feeling bad for what's going on, but trying to make the best of it. Seeing, well, how can I make this better? What can I do to improve the situation that I'm in? And I think that's in every single episode, and it's in the books that they came from. It's just, I think, a really important message for kids to know that they have an effect. They can make a difference about how they're feeling about things. And I think that's the main message.
I think that's great. And really, honestly, the situation we're in right now, where the kids are virtual schooling, and
Yes.
Starting in March, we got thrown with you're staying home all the time now, and we've made the best of it. I think we each have their own little work areas, and so we're making the best of it, right?
What weapon would you choose in a post-apocalyptic world?
Oh, wow. I think it would probably be one of Quint's weapons, like one of the long-range ones where you don't have to get too close to the monsters. Something you could shoot from the treehouse. I always liked the big catapults that could like throw a refrigerator at Blarg. That might be what I'd go for.
That's good. I like that. Stay as far away as possible. That would be me.
What an amazing cast. Did you help pick out them?
I did. I got to help choose. And we had a whole lot of people who auditioned, and we were really lucky to end up with the folks that we ended up with. It's hard too, because when you're listening to someone's voice and you're looking at them, it's different than when you see them in the cartoon. Like, we had a guy who auditioned who really looked like Jack, and he really kind of moved like Jack, and I was like, oh, this guy's great. And then I listened to it again, and I'm like, no, he doesn't really sound like Jack. It's because I was looking at him that I really thought he was right. So you almost have to close your eyes and listen and try and picture the character. But yeah, I got to help pick out the characters, and we were really happy with the cast that we got. The 4 main characters plus all the extra monster characters. We got a lot of actors that we'd always wanted to work with. So that was a lot of fun.
Like Mark Hamill, that's
like Mark Hamill, yes, who came in and immediately started telling us Star Wars stories without us asking him to.
Really? Oh my gosh, that's like
I think he just knows. He just knows that's what people want to hear. So
that's all anyone wants to hear. Like, that's what you want first. Now you can sit down and do your voice.
Yes, yeah. So it was fantastic.
Well, it's actually funny, when we talked to Nick, he said he put in a voice for Dirk too.
Oh yeah, he did. Well, a lot of people auditioned for multiple voices. I guess that's more common than you might think. And there was a guy who auditioned for like 5 or 6 different monsters, and he ended up doing 5 or 6 different monsters. So sometimes you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you have a favorite memory from making a show? If you do, what is it?
Oh my goodness. I think it was probably, I started out as a writer, so I really like coming up with the stories and writing the jokes and writing what the characters say. So I think it was the time we spent at the very beginning writing the scripts, because I was in a room with 5 other really funny people, and we would just sit around all day and make each other laugh while we wrote the scripts. So it's really fun when you get to be creative with other people. It's a joy. So I really like that part of it.
Now, how similar, we haven't read the books yet. I have ordered them.
Okay.
How similar is the show to the books?
The story, the main story and the main characters are very similar. They don't say the exact things or do the exact things, but the main story, if you read the first book, it's similar to the first movie. But where we took exceptions was we got to delve more into Dirk and June and Quint, because the books are all from Jack's point of view. So he didn't get to spend as much time with the other characters. So in the show, we get to go, oh, well, let's really see what Quint would do and spend some time with Quint and have Quint have his own internal story of what he's struggling with. So that was really fun to get to expand on those characters, because they didn't get to in the books. And
was Max pretty hands-on with that?
In the beginning, he really was. He was very involved with the special and with the first season. And then he's got to keep writing the books. So he only has so much time. So as it went on, he had to pull back more and more. And I think it was sad for him, but he really has to put his effort into the books, because that's where it all started.
And that's good, because the more books, the more possible seasons for
Absolutely.
Netflix.
I hope there's 10 books.
10?
I think there's 20.
The 6th one just came out, right? The 6th.
I think he's shooting for 9 or 10. I'm not sure if he's decided.
If you could choose a monster from the series to be real, which one would you choose?
To be real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little scary. None of the scary ones then. None of the big scary ones. Maybe one of the nice ones. I might say Chef, because he cooks some really interesting things. Yeah. So it might be nice to try some of those weird things that he cooks that nobody's ever heard of. Maybe not the one with eyeballs, but the ones that sit still on the plate. Maybe those would be worth trying.
She likes Rover. She said she wants Rover.
Oh yeah, that's the right answer. I should have said Rover. That would be the most fun.
Yeah. Chef also doesn't really like humans alive. So
No, he doesn't. I think he changes slowly over the 3rd season, though. I think he gets to accept him a little bit more.
Have you ever made a voice appearance in the series?
Oh, not in Last Kids. I did a character on Milo Murphy's Law called Scott the Undergrounder, where he goes, I will be their leader.
It would shall be your leader.
was, but I didn't get to do it in this show, Last Kids, partly because there aren't a lot of characters in Last Kids. I mean, there's the 4 main humans and then some monsters, but it's not like you meet a new person every day. It's you see the same people over and over. So we wanted to hire professionals to do those voices.
Are there any funny bloopers from recording that you can tell us about?
Oh my goodness. Well, the key part there is that I can tell you about, because I'm sure there were bloopers that I can't tell you about. A lot of times when people mess up, they swear because they get frustrated. So I can't tell you about that. I think the funniest thing is the woman who plays June would laugh a lot. That she would find what she was saying very funny, and so she'd get almost to the end of her line, and then she'd break up laughing, and then we'd have to start over, and then she'd break up laughing again. And we'd finally get it. We always got exactly what we wanted, but it was funny to see how funny she thought her character was. That was really fun.
So what can fans expect that you can tell us about for book 3?
Well, I think you've seen some of it, but what I can say is the new villain, known as the Nightmare King, and they also call him King Wretch. He is a new kind of monster in that he doesn't just attack them physically, he attacks them in their minds. So he's going to try and get inside Jack's head and June's head and everybody's head and mess with their minds, which we haven't seen before. And it kind of brings us to a new level of I guess it's more troubling. If a monster's just, if you can hide from him, that's one thing. But if he can get in your head while you're hiding, you're not safe anywhere.
Right.
So that's the big thing this season. And then we get to see what goes on in the characters' heads too, which is interesting.
That's cool.
So it's still, even though that sounds a little heady, it's still, the stakes are high and there's a lot of violence and monsters and screaming and running. So all the fun stuff's still there.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. You guys, October 16th, Friday, book 3 comes out, Last Kids on Earth, hits Netflix. And you've got plenty of time to binge 1 and 2 if you missed it, because you are missing out if you haven't watched it. So be sure to check that out.
And just